Reactions to the Trump-Zelensky meeting. The recent tense meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House has sparked significant international reactions. Many media outlets have described this event as a spectacle that horrifies the world and emphasized its potential impact on international relations. Radio Lyra. Reactions from European leaders. Donald Tusk, Prime Minister of Poland, sent a message to Zelensky and the Ukrainian people. Dear Zelensky, dear Ukrainian friends, you are not alone. Telegraphy. Emmanuel Macron, President of France, emphasized that Russia is the aggressor and that it is important to respect those fighting for Europe's security. Telegraphy. Radio Lyra. Kemi Badenoch, British Conservative leader, stated, respect to diplomacy is essential for peace. A divided West only benefits Russia. Telegraphy. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, and Antonio Costa, President of the European Council, expressed their support for Zelensky, stating, be strong, be brave, be fearless. You are never alone. Telegraphy. Reaction from Russia. Maria Zakharova, spokeswoman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, described the incident as a political and diplomatic failure for Zelensky, arguing that he refuses a negotiated peace with Russia. The Sun. Reactions in the United States. Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of State, thanked Trump for his stance, saying that he defended America in a way no president has had the courage to do before. Top Channel. Bernard Sanders, a well-known political figure, criticized Trump for his behavior during the meeting, calling it authoritarian. Huffington Post. Other international reactions. Pedro Sanchez, Prime Minister of Spain, declared, Ukraine, Spain stand with you. Huffington Post. Annalena Baerbock, Germany's foreign minister, emphasized, Ukraine is not alone. Germany, along with our European allies, stands united with Ukraine and against Russian aggression. Huffington Post. Maya Sandu, President of Moldova, stated, the truth is simple. Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia is the aggressor. Huffington Post. These reactions highlight a broad international support for Ukraine and its president, despite the recent tensions in U.S.-Ukraine relations. What the world's major media say about the meeting. The tense meeting between Trump and Zelensky has been widely covered by major international media, with many portraying it as one of the most chaotic and diplomatically disastrous encounters in recent history. Radio Lyra. The Guardian reported that global media were united in their shock over the chaotic and confrontational meeting between Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Zelensky in the Oval Office. They described it as a diplomatic catastrophe. The Guardian. The Wall Street Journal criticized Vice President Vance's interference, describing it as an attempt to pave the way for a potential surrender of Ukraine. Huffington Post. The New York Times, in a column by Brett Lewis Stevens, compared the situation to a hypothetical scenario where Roosevelt would have asked Churchill to surrender to Hitler. Huffington Post. El País highlighted the shock in Ukraine over the breakdown of relations between Trump and Zelensky at the White House, noting that this situation is seen as an ambush against the Ukrainian president. El País. Die Welt reported that Trump abruptly ended the meeting with Zelensky after a verbal altercation, raising international concerns. European leaders such as Macron, Starmer, and Baerbock reaffirmed their support for Ukraine. Die Welt. Radio Lyra. CNN emphasized that Trump threatened to completely withdraw U.S. support for Ukraine, accusing Zelensky of lacking gratitude for American aid. CNN. What John Bolton said about the meeting. Former U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton has sharply criticized Trump's stance toward Ukraine and Zelensky. Radio Lyra. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, Bolton described Trump's remarks about Zelensky as one of the most shameful statements ever made by a U.S. president. He added that U.S. support for Ukraine is not charity, but directly linked to the country's strength and security. X.com. Bolton also criticized Trump's plan to end the war in Ukraine, calling it practically a surrender to Vladimir Putin.